All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. The book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father. Amazon, Kindle, Create Space. Link could be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link is there also. They asked me to put it up. I put it up. This video, though, is entitled You Partied for Too Long Now. Had a conversation a few days back with a friend of mine. And I realized, some people don't take into consideration actually how long they've been partying, and that need to, I guess, live it up and have fun. Sometimes it comes at a price, and it's unfortunate, but now they see the price that it costs. Because I was literally talking to them on the phone, and they didn't want to tell me how bad it was. And the reason they didn't want to tell me how bad it was because they used to call me Darth Vader. And what I mean by that is, I was always the bearer of the bad news, right? You knew you was going to get some darkness, right? But the things I said back then came to pass now, and I see this a lot of times. Like when I was in college, I used to tell the dudes I was in school with, really this started when I was in high school. Like, if you keep partying, you gonna fail, or you not gonna graduate, or you not gonna graduate on time. And there were people who be like, whatever, whatever, you don't know what you're talking about. Catch them D's and them F's. Right, problem. And then got to college, and it was the same thing, but college was different because college, you really off the leash at that particular point. You quote unquote grown, but you're not. So you can do whatever you want to do. And now if you don't make it to class and you flunk out of school, that's on you, right? Or you get academic probation, that's on you. You play sports and you get popped for drug tests, that's on you because you partied too much. And I have family members and friends that had the same issue, particularly in college, where they partied too much and they got put on academic probation. Some got put out, and now you and your friends are going separate ways because you're not in that environment, and now you're seeing that you're kind of wasting away while they're moving forward. Or that's how it looks, because you partied too much, right? Ain't nobody, you can't blame nobody because that's on you. And then are you dabbling in that? And some people got a drinking problem or weed habit. Some people got worse habits than that. I got friends who wind up having multiple kids when they was in college because, it was just towards the season to go raw. So they put a damper on an education and a career path. It is what it is. But those responsibilities kicked in 9 months later. Well, not necessarily before 9, but that was the problem because they partied too much. It was too much fun. And you have to mix the fun in with some discipline. You got to work hard and then play hard. You can't play hard and then get some rest. Don't work that way. So as I got older, people didn't graduate. People didn't find careers. People didn't find their way, their path, but they kept partying. They tell you if you're young and you go out and you on the club scene, no matter what city you in, if you go to the clubs enough, say if you go out to the clubs 3 months straight and then stop, wait 9 months and go back to them very same spots or the new popping spots. if you see the same people, which you probably will see the same people doing the same, probably even doing the same dances, drinking the same drinks, that's because they party too much, and you don't want to be one of them. Because like when I got out of college, ran into some of my roommates, teammates, and they'd be like, "Man, you told me it was gonna be real out here." Like, yeah, it gets real. And now you can't take that young nightclub mentality into the world. That's not gonna keep the lights on. That's not gonna keep food in your stomach. But people trip. Now there are guys who blew it all, partying too much, who had great opportunities, and they've been beating themselves up for it ever since. Because if they could have just put down the alcohol, or just put down the drugs, or just put down the nightlife, they would have went so much further. And then they would see themselves as time went on, at looking at people who they probably feel like they were better than, but those people were more disciplined and not doing the things that they did. Because if you party too much, you become an example. Don't wind up like that person, who's wasted talent. And that's what happens. Because, party too much. I'm going to we're going to go somewhere as I get older. Like I said before, I was born in New Orleans, so, that's a city where you could party your whole life away and not do, because it's cultural. It's like, that's what people do. They, kick it. And talked to a family member of mine yesterday on Thanksgiving, who told me they was moving to Vegas. And I'm like, you've been moving like this for the last 50 years because you keep trying to go party here, party there, and you wind up in the very same cities doing the very same thing you did when you left, and then you want to leave the very same city for the very same reason, because you just party too much. You partied yourself out of the city. I don't know how you that old doing the same thing repeatedly like that with no home base, but not my problem. So what winds up happening is, I was in there listening to the other friend of mine talk, and I vividly remember telling them, you got to get on your grind. You got to stop, thinking that you can always find an easy way out, and you gonna party your way into some Hollywood fairy tale ending. They wasn't trying to hear it, and they had a lot of good opportunities, a lot of good breaks, but squandered those also from partying too much. Now, now they're looking at a life with a past filled with no hard work put in and all party. And, they say, all work and no play make you a dull person. But what happens when it's all party and no work makes you a broke person? You feel me? So that's the issue now. And I noticed this, you this is how people separate as adults. Like, in these separations are exponential as adults, because all of the small things you did that you had to put the party off for, that other people didn't, that got you here, from here to here rather, and they're still here. And then by the time they get to where you're at here, now you're 5, 10, 20, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ahead, because you're ahead of the curve. and you get so ahead of the curve as you get older, you're actually able to lay back and kick it. And the difference is, I see people who party too much and they become elderly, and now they're working their way to survive because they have no nest egg, because they spent their younger years partying instead of building. And this is what happens when you party too much, you know. So I'm just saying, yeah.